Okay, guys, hello and welcome to this first of its kind State of the League address uh, that will kick off our GM meeting for this season. I decided to do this because this season 2017-18, we had quite a few new things happen in the league. So I have dubbed this season of change, and here are listed the most important things that happened during the past 12 or some around 12 months. First, we have 5 teams with new owners since last season. This is 25% of the league owners, which is a big part, no matter what you talk about. So we will look into further details in a bit. How did the new owners fare? And but this is really on the top of the list as far as new changes go. To put it in some perspective, in the previous 4 years of the league, the first 4 years of the league, we had a total of 2 new owners. So really quite a big influx of fresh perspective for league management, and hopefully really motivated owners. And another new thing was the auction bidding that we for first time we bid both on salary and term. Uh, uh, I think it got basically universal acclaim. I don't remember any major issues. All of the teams participated, and really this upped the realism level of the free agent bidding to be very close to the real thing. And from the feedback I've got, I think most of or all of the GMs really enjoyed it. Again, I take, as every time we talk about this, the option to thank Jay and Andrew for the cooperation and the teamwork that we had during the making of the sheet. Next is the 2 rule changes that allowed more flexibility during the season for GMs. We are referring here to the option of first retaining salary in trades, which opened up a bit the trade market, and second, the option to pick up prospects at waivers. And these 2 things we will see in a slide in a bit, how they impacted the whole activity of the league. Sorry. The next thing is that we will do the lottery this year for the first time with a more weighted version, not the previous 20 balls for each team and some additional just for the consolation bracket winners. We have a new structure in place that we voted on last season, so this time in June will be the first time we use it. And last but maybe not least, the 2 changes in the scoring categories. We upgraded or included assists in the special team points category. So we went from special team goals to special team points, which really make the pool of points available in this category bigger and maybe a bit more predictable. Also, it's definitely added some value to PowerPoint playmakers like defensemen or playmaking centers. And the goalie points category, which really, for me personally, it gives a better or more fair rewards the goalies, even if they don't come up with a win, especially for shootouts, when it's practically a gimmick. So now, some words about how the new GMs did in their first season. first, before the proceeding started, we had two teams revocated by their new owners, and the Vipers became the Hearst Lumberjacks, and the Whoopee became the Orlando Sour Bears. So now we will look into some stats or major categories of activity of all new GMs. You see here the regular season ranking, win percentage, how far they got or if they got at all in the playoffs, the number of trades and number of claims, and the number of logins. The number of logins is the tracked stat by the Fantrax system, which shows how many times each owner has logged in during the season. So you can see that only one team, Jeremy's Upper Canada Patriots, made the playoffs and improved quite significantly on last season's standings. But he really took over quite a strong team and managed to build on it. So kudos to him. And the other four teams, they are in a different stage of their rebuilds or just building up for better performance next season. And they didn't make the playoffs, but two of them actually improved on their standings from last season, and two of them were just bottom out in an effort to rebuild their teams. Sorry. What I want to highlight a bit here, the number of trades you see in the whole league. Trades got up. We will talk about this in a bit, but especially about the Sparta and Ajay. He took over team from one very active owner in Roy, the previous owner, and he was really most of the seasons atop of the number of trades leaderboard. The number of trades, of course, doesn't equal better standings, but that's why I want to talk a bit more about the number of claims. So these are in-season claims, and you can see here Atlanta made only 4 and Sparta made a total of 6. This is for the full season, including the regular season and the consolation bracket for these teams especially. And this is really, compared to 27 league average, very, very low percentage. And I would really highly recommend, or I don't know, consult in any way these teams to help them as much as we can, or just to urge them to be more active, because the number of claims, we have some data about this, the number of claims really strongly correlates with the points and the team performance. So I don't think you can expect to make just an occasional claim and still be competitive. This means most of the time you're either running injured players or not running your bench very well. Anyway, I hope this is just some stage of for these GMs, and they can really ramp up their efforts in the next seasons. Here also the number of logins, it's positive to see that each new GM had more activity than the ones they took over from, with the exception of, again, Sparta, which really logged in about 40% less times, or rarely. And this, I think, it's not not really the best option. And I'm saying this because I can't stress enough how important for the league is to have all teams compete as best as they can for from start to finish of the season. And as a league manager, I really want to do as what I can and what is within my powers to ensure this happens. So I'm available for each of the teams, not only the new guys, but for each for each and every owner at all times to contact me and to lend a hand if I can in some way. So moving on to the how did this season compare to previous as in season activity? You can see the numbers are really quite quite impressive. These are the number of trades here and the number of claims as free agents. You see that the trades have rebounded to the level of 2015 and 16, and the number of claimed free agents are the top from the previous 6 seasons up till now. So the highest ever. Also, it's interesting to know that this here, the assets per trade, which shows that we have had the biggest trades since the start of the league this season. So this is, I think, quite positive. I think also this showed that last season we had a couple of GMs who already struggled to find enough time to really compete as hard as the league requires. So this season we have rebounded very nicely. Two things that we already touched. First, the number of trades includes 26 retained salary transactions. So in 26 of these 113 trades, the retained salary option was used, which definitely helped facilitate most of these 26 trades. And the other thing is the number of FA claims, the waiver claims, that in the 544, 116 have been prospect pickups. So these were players with or goalies with 60 or less games, or skaters with 80 or less than 82 games played. Which means that if we haven't changed the rules, we would have had 116 claims less, which we would have brought us to around the level again of 2015 and 16. So what we did last season, and with the things we decided on the GM meeting, really it can be measured here, and it has had a positive impact on the league activity. And just as an impression, I think the whole league has been a lot more lively this season, which is great, really. Going further, looking ahead, what we have, the next thing after the playoffs conclude and the 2018 champion is crowned, next thing to look forward to is the draft lottery, and we have something new here too. The lottery odds, these, especially the number of balls and the odds, these are the slightly adjusted ones. After together with Andrew we made we ran the lottery, or here he ran the lottery some 10,000 times to simulate the results. So we adjusted slightly the number of balls for a champion, runner-up, and the third place team to have really a bit more statistically relevant chances in the lottery. Otherwise, they were basically guaranteed to have the last three uh, places in the first round, which is not really where we wanted to go. From having 20 balls each to having one team guaranteed to be drawn last. Here also, I will post it on the message board. The league history page, I've updated most of it. I think only a couple of worksheets remain, but mostly the regular season and the Roto standings are updated. The trades and some other interesting stuff you can check out there when you have time or when you are interested. So thank you, and I'm looking forward to seeing your thoughts and discussing suggestions at the GM meeting. Thanks and bye bye.